Welcome back once again to the Imaginary Gallery. It's TJ, your host here. Tonight's topic will be discussing the discard, or as what Jackson MacKenzie in his book Psychopath Free refers to as the grand finale. He's talking about psychopaths. However, I have expanded that to involve other cluster B types, and he's telling us that these types of people carefully select the most indifferent and heartbreaking ways imaginable to abandon us. They want us to self-destruct as they begin the grooming process with their latest target. They try to destroy you as a way to reassure themselves that the new target is better. But most importantly, they destroy you because they hate you. They despise your empathy and ability to love, the qualities that they must pretend to feel every single day. To destroy you is to temporarily silence the nagging reminder of the emptiness that consumes their soul. He goes on to the aftermath. And this is for you. These creatures latch on to successful people and steal what they have worked hard to attain. For example, if you've got a really solid career, this creature will sponge your income from you and avoid getting a job, him or herself, of their own. If you've got a great group of friends, this creature will try to charm them into their fan club, ultimately turning them against you. They'll end up sucking everything out of your life, and once they've taken everything you have to offer, well, they move on to a new host. The Cluster B psychopath creature plans their discarding of you to be hurtful and confusing, causing you to feel completely worthless. And then you watch as their new life unfolds before your very eyes, leaving you to wonder what in the world just happened. Nothing from their patronizing breakup excuse makes sense. None of it adds up, and you look back and you'll find that this person offered absolutely nothing of value to the relationship. Only false praise and flattery to keep you from catching on to their extremely parasitic lifestyle. These monsters leave nothing behind but pain, confusion, and chaos in their path of destruction. Then he discusses the Psychopathic Breakup Checklist. This is good information to know if you've been discarded by such a creature. The Cluster B monster almost always has a new target lined up to replace the current partner. But instead of simply ending your relationship and entering the new one, they act out the items on the Psychopathic Breakup Checklist. They will covertly sprinkle hints that they're interested in somebody else. And they'll repeat this step until you finally react to it. And then they'll calmly imply that you're just too sensitive and too jealous. They will give you the silent treatment for being sensitive and jealous. And they'll continue this until you start to self-destruct. And then they will use your self-destruction to convince the new target that you are crazy. That's a popular one with me, because I am not a normal person, and I tell it like it is. So I often get labeled as, he's crazy. And so I'll say, that's right, I'm mentally ill. And he or she chose to be with me. What are you? They also use your self-destruction to convince their friends that you are crazy. That way, they have full support from their fan club once they do replace you. And they'll begin to patronize you and explain how much your unstable behavior is hurting them. And of course, they'll choose the most insensitive way imaginable to dump you. Popular examples are on a post-it note, Carrie Bradshaw, Sex and the City, or on a voicemail message, or even worse, a text message. Really classy people here. And then they, of course, will wave the new target in your face just to show you how happy they are without you. And of course, Jackson tells us that normal breakups never happen like this. But these psychopathic monsters want to ensure that they seem innocent while you appear to be a monster. Even though they're the ones who are cheating and lying, these steps turn the tables around so that they can play that victim role once again and make sure that you have absolutely nothing. Now, the discarding process will feel casual and impulsive, but make no mistake, it has been planned for weeks, if not months. During the process, you'll begin to feel that they actually want you to dump them. They'll go out of their way to upset and harm you, and you will know in your heart that they have no interest in continuing the relationship. But of course, they'll never say these words. They will deny any suggestions you might have about their intentions. Instead, they'll unload all their blame onto you, making you feel that your self-destructive behavior is what's really ruining the relationship, not their blatant abuse tactics. And while you're frantically running around trying to fix things, they'll be courting the next target. They may already be sleeping together, and they'll make sure that you suspect it, dropping hints and innuendos until you just can't take it anymore, and you explode. Then they'll use that reaction as a pity ploy to their next victim. What better way to convince them of your insanity than to present them with your seemingly unprovoked and hysterical text messages? You'll spend all this time thinking that they just lost interest, or that maybe your jealousy issues extinguished the spark. Months into recovery, things will finally start to click. You'll be able to look back at their relationship and their pre-breakup performance and put the pieces all into place. You will be shocked, unable to comprehend such a cunning scheme. You'll be disgusted when you realize how long you'd been strung along. You will wonder why they didn't just dump you the moment they met somebody new. You'll realize that they were blatantly ignoring you, not because they were busy with working, but because they were busy in bed. Whore! And all the while, they tried to make you feel like you're the monster. To the monster's target, this sudden breakup seems to come out of nowhere. But to the psychopath cluster B monster, this moment has been carefully planned for quite some time. They've been spreading lies and gossip about you quietly, convincing others that you are now unstable and ruining the relationship. They use this story to groom the next victim and distract friends from their obvious cheating. You'll find yourself replaced in a matter of days, watching as their perfect life unfolds with somebody new. While you were running around desperately trying to fix it all, they were already starting up a new relationship because they're great people. And instead of breaking up with you like a regular human being, they strung you along. until the bitter end. They deemed you crazy and jealous, gleefully eroding your entire identity as they pranced off with some new fool. These monsters don't just break up with their targets. They use breaking up as an opportunity to watch them self-destruct physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, when these people discard you, it'll feel nonchalant and disingenuous. They might even do it over a text message, as I stated, to make you feel even more worthless. They'll talk mostly about themselves and their feelings, explaining that they just can't go on like this anymore. You'll remain paralyzed and numb throughout this conversation. You knew it was coming, but you just can't believe it happened. You'll hear a lot of word salad about their ex and how your changed behavior, but nothing about the target they're replacing you with. They will appear both pitiful of you and oddly cheerful. They'll choose the most inconvenient setting possible in which to dump you. If you live far away, they'll have no problem visiting you, traveling for hours, only to dump you halfway through the trip. By disrupting your travel plans and removing you from your familiar surroundings, they ensure that you'll be completely unhinged by this news, adding to confusion and inferiority that you already feel. You'll leave this breakup feeling nothing but emptiness. Jackson says he cannot describe this feeling as depression because it's worse than that. In this moment, you'll feel your spirit has died. When they begin to mirror an entirely different person. Once you start to understand how this cycle works, you will realize you have not lost your soulmate at all. While they continue this cycle forever, you begin a new adventure, free from the never-ending lies and mind games of the soulless.
You probably don't remember me because when you and I dated, I was a boy. Well, honey, that's changed. I'm a transhuman now. But that's beside the point.
I just thought I'd let you know, too, by the way. I went to Comet Ping Pong Pizza tonight. And I had extra large cheese pizza. It was so good. My people run this operation. The mainstream media thinks it's all a hoax. Or, more realistically, it's covering it up. All I can say is keep covering it up because I have so much fun with those children. I'm a pedophile. I love cheese pizza. So does John Podesta. Oh.
Now, I don't expect you to understand my lifestyle. Because when I met you, my lifestyle was pretty much identical to yours, or so you thought. You had no idea the kind of life that I lived beforehand. Well, I'm going to give you a little clue. First off, I told you from day one I wanted your commitment because I wanted you for me and me only. And I pretended like I believed the same thing, as if I was going to do the same for you. Ha! That was fake. You see, I've never been with just one person, ever. I couldn't imagine it. But because I feel entitled, I demand that my partners are faithful to me. And you fell for it. You retarded!
So what if Hillary Clinton and I are bumping pussy willows? That's none of your business. I am the genie of the lamp.
I the